Now it's my honor to introduce an impact-oriented thought leader who builds powerful partnerships across sectors to maximize community impact. In the summer of 2020, Kevin Zwick joined United Way Bay Area, bringing decades of nonprofit leadership and deep expertise in housing and justice to the table. Please welcome Chief Executive Officer of United Way Bay Area, Kevin Zwick.
Just a couple things before I start. I really want to thank both Callan and Dodge & Cox. Callan has been a supporter of ours for over 50 years. Dodge & Cox has been a supporter of ours for 75 years. And oftentimes, when I've reflected on this, United Way Bay Area, what does it mean to be here for 100 years? It means that for as long as there's been a nonprofit sector in the Bay Area, there's been a United Way, and that's because for all of that time, there's been institutions like Callan, like Dodge & Cox supporting us. So thank you, Ron, who is and thank you, Kevin Johnson, who's a current board member, for your support and for your sponsorship. So while tonight is certainly about celebration, it was important to me to begin my remarks by acknowledging the gun violence that was fueled by racism and white supremacy over the past weekend. The horrific targeted killing of Black residents in Buffalo, Taiwanese churchgoers in Orange County, and the continued attacks on Asians and Asian-owned businesses, most recently in Dallas. All of this demands outrage, action, and change. It's impossible to be united for equity without addressing the deep roots of anti-Black, anti-Asian, and other forms of racism and hatred in our society. So please join me in a moment of silence to honor the lives lost to racist violence, and let's commit ourselves to the continued fight for change. Thank you. So when I reflect on our past century and envision the one ahead, I find myself looking back at my own history and my family's history. I come from 4 generations of union members, my great-grandparents, my grandparents, my folks, my sister, and I learned from them that we are the strongest when we stick together. And most importantly, I learned that everyone deserves to be treated equally. I also think about my own journey, from working at a food pantry in Oakland, to community organizing in San Francisco, to creating affordable housing in Silicon Valley. At each point, United Way Bay Area was also there, inspiring and uniting the community to support the same families that we were helping. Tonight, I invite each of you to reflect on what being united for equity means to you. 100 years ago, this region and much of the country was experiencing an extraordinary period of prosperity as the Roaring '20s triggered an economic and cultural renaissance, resulting in a dramatic increase in middle-class households. People were able to afford a home and a car and savings and pay for college. Today, our 20s are far from roaring for the 600,000 families who struggle to meet their basic needs. To make ends meet in the Bay Area, a family needs to earn at least $110,000 a year. Yet 2 adults working minimum wage full-time barely make half of that. You know, that math doesn't add up, and that indicates clearly that poverty is not a deficit of talent or character or hard work. It's hard to get ahead when you're struggling to get by. But we live in a place that's renowned for our spirit of innovation and leadership on social progress. From the Cultural Revolution of the 60s and 70s to the transformational technologies that continue to be born in our backyards, we can harness our innovative thinking to solve the issues keeping our neighbors from sharing in this region's immense prosperity. And that's why it's so important that we're all here together tonight. Thanks to each of you, United Way Bay Area is here and going strong, ready to help families and individuals struggling to meet basic needs, assisting students and workers seeking employment and better careers, supporting our neighbors working to achieve financial stability, and advocating for housing justice for all Bay Area residents. This work wouldn't be possible without all of you. So I'd like to share just one example of our shared impact in action by telling you about Mario Gomez, another one of our United Way ambassadors who's here tonight. Over the past year, it's been my privilege to get to know Mario, and he allowed me to share part of his story. He was born in Guatemala and then immigrated to the Bay Area later in his life. One of his goals was to become the first in his family to graduate college. Mario started on that goal when he began attending Kenyatta College. But being a community college student in a high-cost area is hard, especially when you're also working and making ends meet. So Mario went looking for help. Thanks to our 211 hotline, he got connected to United Way Bay Area's Spark Point Center at Kenyatta College, where he got the financial coaching and budgeting support, which helped him persist and stay on course. Well, then on top of school and working, Mario started giving back by volunteering at the Spark Point Center and helping his fellow college students, just as he had been helped. Mario then became a United Way Bay Area ambassador to help bring the voice of students like him into United Way's work and programs. And he even joined our Emergency Food and Shelter Program Board in San Mateo County. Well, this last couple years, then the pandemic hit, and Mario lost his job. Thankfully, he was able to receive help from United Way Bay Area's Rental Relief Fund so he could stay housed, and because of that, he was able to meet his goal of being the first in his family to graduate with his associate's degree in business admin and econ. Mario is now at San Francisco State, and the other day he was sharing with me that the same challenges that students have at community college are only amplified when you get to a four-year school, where it's more expensive and student services can be harder to access. So those insights have helped inform our team as they work to open the first Spark Point at a four-year college at San Francisco State University, so more students like Mario can have the support they need to thrive. Mario's insights and his lived experiences with our programs have helped United Way Bay Area better serve our community. So I'm really excited that Mario will continue that service by recently joining our advisory council. Let's give a round of applause for Mario. Why don't you stand up? I have no doubt Mario's going to achieve his dreams, and I am inspired by his resilience and his tenacity. We're only able to play a part in powerful stories like Mario's because of your ongoing support. So together, United Way Bay Area and our supporters are making sure that everyone who calls the Bay Area home has a way to stay in the Bay Area. If we don't make the effort to keep the Bay Area affordable and equitable with good jobs and quality education, where people's basic needs are met, we're going to lose the core of what's so special to live here. I want a place where my children and their children can call home. I want a place where everybody's children can grow and thrive. Speaking of my children, I want to take a moment to say hi to them and thank them and everyone else who are tuning in from home. Hi, Norley. Hi, Daniel. Promise to give you a shout out. And I want to thank my wife, Helen, who's also here tonight, for your ongoing love and support. So we're here to celebrate a century of impact, and we want to thank you. In 2020, we helped over 800,000 of our neighbors get the support they need to meet their basic needs, seek better careers, stay housed, and work to achieve financial prosperity. For 100 years, the people in this room and those who came before us in this work have embodied a unique spirit of community and collective action. Though the work started before any of us, tonight, and you all being here makes clear that this work will continue. And on that note, I'd like to personally thank Ann Wilson, who dedicated 40 years of her career to United Way Bay Area and served as our CEO for 2 decades. Ann, will you please rise? Thank you, Ann. I also want to acknowledge all of our former staff and board members and volunteer leaders who have joined us here tonight. Thank you for your contributions to our first century of impact. So now United Way Bay Area is ready for our next century of impact. We recently approved a new 3-year strategic plan, charting a course to help 1 million people meet basic needs and access pathways to prosperity. This is going to require a 35% increase in fundraising each year for the next 3 years. The challenges are many, but I know we can meet this moment when our neighbors need us the most. We're going to expand our work regionally in communities throughout the Bay Area that are the most impacted by systemic racism. We want to show up the best way we can in all 8 counties we serve, from Solano County in the north to Santa Clara County in the south. We want to be there to help all communities, particularly those who have been left out or left behind, and those that have been persistently and historically racially marginalized. In a region grappling with homelessness and housing costs that most Bay Area workers cannot afford, we understand that we can't fight poverty without addressing housing. That's why our new plan includes the addition of a renewed and a deeper focus on housing justice. And embedded throughout is an action plan that increases our focus on improving diversity, equity, inclusion, and becoming a more anti-racist organization. Addressing each of these issues head on is essential to our strategies to dismantle the root causes of poverty. So make no mistake, we know this is a big effort. It's going to take all of us to meet the challenge. So I invite each of you to join us in this journey. As we begin our next century, we'll do what United Way does best. Bring people together to build solutions, inspire people to help one another, and advocate for the changes we need. Together, we can build a Bay Area where everybody has the opportunities and resources they need to thrive. And that journey begins tonight. Together, let's stand united, committed to address the challenges that lie ahead, ready to break the cycle of poverty, trapping our neighbors and crippling our region, supporting each other for a better Bay Area. So, cheers to an inspiring first century of impact, and here's to each of us remaining united for equity. Thank you.